It's been 8 years since the Marikana massacre that left many families destitute. Today, as they commemorate this day, it still pains them to know that there's still no accountability, nor is there any apology from the government for what had occurred on that day.
We have been now approached again by the victims and also by Amcu to say that we must speed up the process of the outstanding cases. You might remember that the government promised about 3 or 4 years ago that they were going to settle the cases, and only one case was settled of the injured and arrested. We are now very frustrated, and the clients are very frustrated because there's been no movement in the payment, for example, of the people who were seriously injured, like Mr. Magidwana, who addressed here. He was one who was left for dead, and yet they have not been compensated. There are other cases as well against Lonmin, which will now be replaced by the new owners of the mine. And there's a case against the president in his personal capacity. Then there's a case against the government. So those are the cases that we're going to be speeding up in the next couple of weeks, and we will be making announcements.
The National Union of Mine Workers is said to have gained more members at the former Lonmin mine, which now belongs to Sibanye. Amcu, however, says there are no disputes between the unions as they are after the same goal. Thus, after the labor unions were in disputes, which resulted in the deaths of 34 mine workers at the hands of police in 2012.
We haven't seen that increase in number, but nevertheless, whether you are rolling or what, the fact of the matter, this is a free country. You know, if members feel or workers feel to join NUM is good. I mean, we don't have any pain. The war is not against other formation of worker representative. Our war should be channeled to the white monopoly capital. It's where it matters most because they are controlling the means of production. NUM is just a normal trade union. We live with NUM side by side in different spaces. So therefore, it's not an issue. It's not an issue at all.
The legacy of the Marikana massacre has yielded little to no change so far, despite numerous attempts at reform, with local mining struggling for survival. Will the survivors of the worst mining tragedy in South Africa ever get to see the light? Nothando Magudulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.